Hello, welcome back once again. Today we're going to solve the popular MIT integration B problem. The integral from 0 to pi of 2x times the sine of x divided by 3 plus the cosine of 2x dx. Okay, let's get started. So let's call this given problem I. So we have I is equal to the integral from 0 to pi of 2x times the sine of x divided by 3 plus the cosine of 2x dx, right? Okay, now the first thing to do here is to make use of this nice trigonometric identity for cosine of 2x. So we know the cosine of 2x is equal to 2 times the cosine square of x minus 1. So from here, 3 plus the cosine of 2x will be equal to 3 plus 2 cosine square of x minus 1. And from here, 3 minus 1 is 2, then plus 2 cosine square of x. Then we factor out 2, so this will become 1 plus the cosine square of x. So this is our new denominator, right? So here our I will be equal to the integral from 0 to pi 2x times the sine of x divided by 2 into bracket 1 plus cosine squared of x then dx. So we have this nice cancellation going on here. So this will be equal to the integral from 0 to pi x multiplied by the sine of x divided by 1 plus cosine square of x dx. Okay, so from here, let us make use of the King's property, but we're going to make it through a substitution way. So we're going to let x equals pi over, is that pi? Oh, sorry. So let's say pi, yes, so we're going to let x equals pi minus y, right? So from here, y is actually equal to pi minus x. But from this equation right over here, remember that x is equal to pi minus y. So differentiating both sides, so we have dx is equal to negative dy. So now our I here will be equal to the integral. So remember, when x is equal to 0, we get y is equal to pi minus 0, which is pi. When x is equal to 0, we get y is equal to pi minus 0. When x is equal to pi, so y will be pi minus pi, which is 0. So therefore, x is equal to pi minus y. So we have pi minus y multiplied by sine of pi minus y. Then divided by, here will be 1 plus cosine square of pi minus y. Then dx is negative dy, right? Okay, so from here, with this negative sign, we're going to switch the limit of integration, right? So this will be equal to I is equal to integral from 0 to pi. Okay, so here we have to, this y here is a dummy variable, right? So we can change it to x. So we have pi minus x. Then sine of pi minus y is sine of x, right? Then divided by 1 plus, this will be cosine square of x. Remember, this is cosine square of y. Remember, y is a dummy variable, so we can change it to any other variable. So let us prefer using x. Then dy will be dx. Okay, so here let us open this bracket. Here we have I is equal to the integral from 0 to pi. So pi times sine of x. Then we have divided by 1 plus cosine square of x. We put dx, and remember, minus the integral from 0 to pi. We have here x times the sine of x divided by 1 plus cosine square of x, then dx. So carefully recalling back, we can see that exactly this integral, which is equal to I, is what we have right over here. So therefore, this particular integral is also equal to I. So we have I is equal to this minus I. So adding I to both sides, we get 2I will be equal to the integral from 0 to pi of, we can pull this pi out because it's a constant, so sine of x divided by 1 plus cosine square of x, then dx. So from here, let us make the following substitution. So we're going to let cosine of x equals y. So here, differentiating both sides, the derivative of cosine of x will be negative sine of x, then dx. This will be equal to dy. So here we have sine of x dx. So let's solve for sine of x dx. So we get sine of x dx will be equal to negative dy. So here we have 2I is equal to, this will be pi, the integral. So when x is equal to 0, we get the cosine of 0 is 1. When x is equal to pi, the cosine of pi is negative 1. And the sine of x here, remember sine of x dx is negative dy. Then divided by 1 plus cosine of x is y. So this will be y squared. And from here, this will be equal to pi, the integral. So switch this limit and cancel this negative sign. Negative 1 to 1 of 1 divided by 1 plus y squared dy. Okay, so from here, this is the arctangent, right, of y. We get 2I is equal to pi. So this will be the arctangent of y, limit running from negative 1 to 1. And when we put the limit, we get pi into bracket arctan of 1. The upper limit is pi over 4. Minus the arctan of negative y is negative pi over 4. With this negative sign, that becomes plus pi over 4. And pi over 4 plus pi over 4 will give us pi over 2 times pi here will give us pi squared divided by 2. So remember our I here is being multiplied by 2. So let's divide both sides by 2. So 2 cancels 2, and here we have the right answer to the problem, that I will be equal to pi squared divided by 4. And this is the right answer. Thank you for watching. Please kindly subscribe to my channel. Also like, comment, and share. Bye-bye.